Hi everyone, it's Jenny and I'm back for another hair color tutorial from the Ion products sold at Sally's. This one is different from the ones from before. If you see my other videos, before I was using Demi Permanent, and this is the Ion Color Brilliance Permanent Cream Color. As you can see there. It comes in a tube like this. I think they've redesigned their permanent color products into like a new tube, but this is in the medium blonde 7N. It's PPD free, promote intensive shine, all that kind of good stuff. 100% fade resistant gray coverage, enriched with piqui and argan oil. Quadra level ion science, luxurious long-lasting color, maximum light reflection and shine, refreshing fragrance, unparalleled hydrating action. So I have decided to go a totally different route than what I had planned with my hair. It was between going with this color and going with like a what was it, like neon pink and orange. And I've done really intensive, like bright colors most of my adult life, and I went through a time of having my natural hair color, which is similar to this, and which I'm trying to get back to. I'll put a picture of my natural hair color here, and we're gonna see if this gets close. I'm very lazy. I'm sure many of y'all can relate. I don't want to go in and try and, you know, use multiple colors for this time, I don't know, to try and get my natural dimension. I'm too lazy for that. That's also why I decided not to do the hot pink, and I just don't want to constantly retouch and re-bleach my hair. And so I'm going to do this, and then in the not too distant future do fusion extensions. I've already been trained in it, but I'm actually going to teach my husband how to do it, and we're going to do a video on it, and so y'all can see how to do fusion extensions. It'll be with the either the I-tip or U-tip keratin fusion extensions, and that'll be coming up very soon. I'm going to be ordering the hair today, and so let's get into it. So always read the directions. Even if you've used the color before, it's easy to get kind of lost in how many different colors. You just read the directions. And I'm glad I did, because since my hair is so light, usually with permanent hair colors, you use a 20 volume developer. But when you read the directions here, it says that if you're starting out with light blonde hair, so anywhere from a 8 to 10 level blonde hair, which they put the levels of, this is how you're starting off, and then the desired color you want up here. So you match those together, and there's a little number down here, right there, that'll tell you the volume of developer that you're going to use. So in my case, I'm going to be using a 10 volume developer, which makes sense because I'm not trying to lighten my hair, I'm trying to deposit color. And a 10 volume developer will give you a little bit of lift, but definitely not the kind of lift you would get with a 20 volume developer. So I'm glad that I had some left over. It's the Salon Care 10 volume cream developer from Sally's, kind of a go-to. It's very affordable. I think this size, which is 16 fluid ounces, it's like $3.99, and then they go up from there, or you can get like a tiny size for $2 and change, I think. And they often do sales. So anyway, one thing I didn't look at is ratio, which usually gets 1-to-1 ratio, but since it's the first time I've used this particular product, I'm going to double check. Yep, equal parts developer and color, developer color. So I'm going to do 2 ounces of developer and 2 ounces of color. This whole tube is 2.5 ounces, so I'm going to do the entire tube. Now, something that's cool that I don't know if many people have realized is that you have little measuring tools inside your mixing bowl that you get at Sally's. So on one side they have metric, on the other side they have our system, and so I don't think you can even see it in there. It's very, very faint, but right along here it's raised, and it'll have 2, then a dash, then 4-6 to help you measure out your developer. So I'm going to get it to the 2 ounces area, 2 ounces, and then the rest of the color. So you open it with these, that has a little poker at the top. In case you didn't know, that's what that's for. So you don't have to like jam something random into it. Now always use a plastic bowl, plastic brush. Metallics and metal bowls do not mix together. It is so hot in here. This is my sewing room that I'm in, and I lovingly refer to it as my sweatshop. No joking at sweatshops, they're awful and I don't support that. But being out here during the summertime, I have like a AC like window unit, but I haven't hooked it up this year, so I'm already sweating, which is not fun. So you're just going to mix this up until it's totally blended in, and just kind of like a little whisking action. You can get a whisk, a non-metallic whisk from, you can use ones from Walmart in the cooking section. They have plastic coated ones or plastic ones that you can use for this. Don't use metal. And they also have ones at Sally's that you can buy for a few bucks. Any of those would be fine. So I'm just going to mix this up. That is a lot of new growth, and my hair looks so much darker in this light with the background. It's so funny. All right, now for the front sections, which which will give you an easier view of what I'm doing because the back is kind of hard for you to see. So you see where that line of, in between my natural color, that we call that the line of demarcation. I know, terminology. We're doing everything below that first. Now, if you do have very thick hair, I would suggest having a friend help you out. Always have a friend with hair color. It makes it so much easier. And just don't blame them for whatever happens. You chose to do this to your hair for yourself and not go to a salon. Same here. I chose to do this myself and not go to a salon or ask a stylist friend to help me. So, you know what? If it doesn't turn out right or good, no one to blame but myself. And that is totally fine with me. Now, if you have thicker hair, definitely take smaller subsections. Subsections are the little sections you're taking in between your bigger sections to apply the hair color, because you don't want to have spotty hair color. And especially with thicker hair, if the dye is not able to penetrate or soak through the hair all the way evenly, then you can get spottiness, so you don't want that. Trying to look at what I'm doing in the viewfinder and doing this on myself is not the easiest thing in the world. I should have brought a mirror. But you know what? Whatever. Alright. Alright, now we have all the mid shaft done, and from the length to the end, I'm going to set the timer for 15 minutes and come back and then do the roots. Alright, I'm back after that 15 minutes. Now we're going to go through and I'm going to add the color to the roots. It has gotten dark. Alright. So I'm just going to go through, make sure it's hitting all the roots, all those little baby hairs at the ends. I'm going to go through, peek around through those areas. And then bring it down again. I'm not sectioning into the 4 sections again. I'm just kind of going through and touching up those areas that need to be done. I think this may be pretty close though. We'll have to see. We will see. It is definitely much darker than what I had before, which I'm definitely going to like more. I mean, it's one thing for me to have that light of hair if I'm going to put, you know, bright colors on top of it, but I think it really didn't work with my skin tone, and that's no fun. Not saying it wouldn't work for anybody else's skin tone, everybody do what they want, but you know, we all feel good in different things that maybe, in different hair colors that maybe some people think like, oh, that doesn't suit you very well. But if you like it, then it suits you. If nobody else likes it, well, whatever. Who cares? Who cares what they like? You do you. I did bring a mirror back with me this time, so that way I wouldn't have to look in my viewfinder the entire time. I went inside for a little bit watching PBS, and such an interesting little documentary about New York. Any New Yorkers out there, shout out. And they were talking about Broadway Street was an ancient Native American highway that went all the way up to Canada, and was ended up being used by the Dutch. And the Broadway Street comes from like a Dutch word that sounded similar to Broadway in English. And anyway, but the Dutch had built a wall at the end of Broadway, and I'm not going to try and remember what the Dutch word for Broadway was because I'm going to butcher it, and just know it sounded similar to Broadway in English. And but that wall was Wall Street, and that's where Wall Street is today. I thought that was super interesting. Although I know nothing about New York, so maybe New Yorkers are like, duh. Everybody knows that. Although I can tell you tons of stuff about the Texas Capitol and San Antonio and battles around Texas, but because I'm from Texas. I don't know if I ever mentioned that before. And so the rest of the directions say to leave on for 15 to 30 minutes until blended. So I think I'm just going to leave it on for 15 minutes because everything else looks like it's pretty caught up already. And from what I'm seeing, I don't know if you're seeing, it's already looking pretty blended. Sure to get all those little baby hairs around your face. You can always wipe it off if it gets onto your skin. You can leave it on and have a little dye stain. Behind the ear. Follow the hairline around. And then I always like to kind of comb it through with my hands, kind of mush it all around. Make sure everything feels very saturated. Keep on flinging myself in the head with my hair. I'm like, okay, calm down. All right. So I will be back within 15 to 30 minutes, and next check-in I will have washed this out and dried it so you can see the final results. Just cleaning up all that little extra. Boop. Boop. All right. We'll be back. So, this is not the blonde I was hoping to go for. I would consider this like a light brown. I'm trying not to call it a fail because the main purpose for me to get rid of the blonde that I was at, was because I want to start growing out my more natural hair color, or my natural hair color, and getting extensions, and this will be easier to match. But how is this a medium blonde? Like, I'm going to put on the screen right here what the swatch that Sally's said was a medium blonde. I do not consider this medium blonde. I'm going to take you off of the stand. You're going to see my very messy sewing room for a second. And I'm going to take you into the natural light so you can actually get an idea of what this looks like. And I can too. Oh my god, it's so bright. So, this is it in the natural light. I can hardly even see from the viewfinder. It, to me, is much more a reddish light brown than a medium, sorry, AC unit and all this stuff. I don't want to call it a fail because it's going to help me get to the place where I want to be. Is it the color I was hoping it was going to be? Not even close. But how is this a medium blonde? I don't get it. So when I first tried to take like the purple out of my hair, I had a really tough time of it, and I was damaging my hair. This was like a year ago. And so I decided to do like an auburn brown on it that was just slightly darker than this, and I kind of feel like I've just taken a big leap backwards. But what can you do? This is it. So, also, a reason why I do these videos. With the hair color that I had, which was a very light blonde, you know, I had some of the Demi permanent shades I've done other videos on top of it, that had washed out over time. But if you have light hair and you're trying to get it to a more, like a darker blonde, well, if you try the 7N medium blonde, you're gonna get this color. So I hope this is helpful. I'm not totally disappointed. It's fine. It is what it is, and I'm just gonna get used to it. So, alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be doing more hair tutorial videos and just kind of coming along with me on my hair journey, and so you can see the do's and don'ts and mishaps and successes along the way. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm shell-shocked. Have a great day.